Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going over a kind of a budget deck, kind of a deck that I just have for the kids at my local store, Alakazam EX. This is a little beefier than the one I actually run at the store, but this is how I would run it if I tried to make it a little more competitive. Little more competitive being the operative word. It is not something I would take to a cup or a challenge. It's not something I would take to a regional or really anything above a cup. It is just a fun deck that kind of aggravates people. It's not stall, but it kind of only gives the option of one prizers if you do it right. Let's go ahead and get into it. A 4-2-3 line. The reason we're running 2 Kadabra is because we're also running the Aroma, the Hyper Aroma. We'll get into that in a second. 3 Alakazam. Alakazam, what it does is, for 2 Psychic Energy, it can attack from the bench for 120. 310 is also a pretty decent HP, something that can survive. It's going to get hurt by dark Pokemon. Something like a Roaring Moon is absolutely going to feast on this deck, but you can't win them all, and this is more or less, like I said, for fun. It is running the Xatu engine, a 2-2 line of Xatu. Clairvoyant Sense says, take a Psychic from your hand, attach it to one of your bench, draw 2 cards. It is going to help quite a bit. The rest of our Pokemon are pretty much all support Pokemon. We have Klefki. Klefki's ability says Mischievous Lock. As long as it's active, basic Pokemon don't have abilities. It's something quite interesting. You can lock out your Ogerpons. You can lock out Screamtail. You can lock out, for instance, a Diancie or a Mimikyu. Something that really isn't going to worry about anything. And while your Alakazam are attacking from the bench, it's locking down opponents' abilities. It's kind of nice. Diancie's fantastic. Diancie says if it's in the active, supporters can't affect your Pokemon on the bench, so Boss's Order can't hit Alakazam EX. Therefore, Alakazam kind of sits nice and comfortable and doesn't have to worry about things. We have Mimikyu. Mimikyu is pretty common, but if you don't know, it says Pokemon V and EX can't damage it. It's kind of nice. We can set it up front. Something that we know, say something like a Roaring Moon, for example. We're going to be able to make it so that it doesn't hit us, and we'll start hitting it. Lastly, we have Radiant Alakazam. Radiant Alakazam, move 2 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon, to another one. It's fantastic. It'll help us move 120, where, hit for 120, move it around, start damaging things, and then eventually, as time goes on, we'll be able to hit anything for 120 and start taking big KOs. We're running a 3-2-1-2 line of supporters. Arven is pretty helpful, especially in the early game, which is why we have so many. Iono, always a fantastic disruption card and a quick hand resetter. Boss's Order, I could very easily see Boss's Order becoming a 2 of and Ciphermaniac becoming a 1 of. However you want to play it, I like to be able to Ciphermaniac down, grab two cards out of the deck, put them on top, and then Xatu with Clairvoyant Sense go grab those 2 cards and start going. Our A-Spec is Hyper Aroma. We're going to be able to get our Buddy-Buddy Poffin down, and we're going to have other basic Pokemon that are potentially ready to evolve, and then boom, Hyper Aroma turn 2, we're off and rolling. We've got 2 Xatu on the bench, or we've got 2 Kadabra and a Xatu. We're able to start going, and we don't necessarily need the Rare Candy, but we have the option of the Rare Candy. We have 3 Ultra Ball and 2 Nest Ball. The 2 Nest Ball are there for something like Diancie or the Alakazam, or just any basic, really, that we might be able to grab real quick. Buddy-Buddy allows us to grab Klefki, which is always thankful and always nice, along with Mimikyu. Our Pokégear, we want to be able to draw into our supporters. And by doing that, with Pokégear, we might not be able to grab the Iono, or we might not have something in hand, and then all of a sudden, boom, boss is in our hand, pull up something, and knock it out. We have 2 energy switch. I like the energy switch. The energy switch comes in really handy, say if you have to attach to Xatu because you don't have something on the bench, or you don't want to attach to something on the bench. Attach to Xatu and energy switch, put it on something else after you get those 2 cards, maybe another Nest Ball, maybe an Ultra Ball. Or what you can do is you can energy switch off of one of your Pokemon to the active, retreat it, and then bring up something like Klefki or Diancie. 2 switches, just in case we don't have that option. Well, now we can switch our Alakazam out of active and put something like Klefki or Diancie back in active. 2 heavy ball, I could very easily see this going down to 1 heavy ball, but we want to be able to grab something that we know is in the prize cards, like Klefki, like Natu, like Mimikyu, like another Abra. We are running the 1 counter catcher. I think it's fine. I could very easily see Ciphermaniac becoming a boss, and the 1 heavy ball becoming a counter catcher. We are running 1 Pal Pad, 1 Super Rod, and 1 Artazon, and if I round it out, 9 energy. That's a quick look at the profile. I like this deck. It's fun. It's not supposed to win against the toughest tiers and the highest of the metas, but it's really fun, and it can frustrate people because you're only giving them 1 prize. They're constantly going, what the heck, why can't I get, and then you just start taking KOs over time. With that, let's go ahead and get into our first game. So with this deck, we want to go first. We want to be able to get our Abras and our Xatus up and rolling as fast as we can, and then we want to go with the Hyper Aroma potentially turn 1 or potentially turn 2, but in this case we're getting what we get. No big deal. Okay, with the Ralts, we know we're going against Guardy. We should be able to take it because we're going to be kind of just giving them 1 prizer after 1 prizer while we are building this potential Alakazam on the bench. Okay, we don't necessarily need anything, but we'll get our Natus up and rolling. Let's go ahead and heavy ball, see what we have in here. We have a Diancie. We like Diancie. We'll go ahead and use Artazon and get ourselves another Natu rolling. We can save the Diancie and we will use Abra down. And we'll go ahead and move on. Okay, so the Iono doesn't hurt us in this case. It actually only helps us because it's going to put stuff that we have on we want, and then we're just going to, it's going to give us stuff that we kind of want right this second. Okay, the Mew doesn't hurt. I don't know that I would have gotten a Mew at this stage, but he might be able to. Okay. Memory skipped one out. Okay. Okay, we've got the Iono. That's okay. We can go ahead and... I don't mind getting... we can get the Diancie. Really, we're kind of doing it for the shuffle more than anything else. We've got another Abra down. Let's go ahead and put our Abra down. Let's go ahead and use Arven to get ourselves the Hyper Aroma. And let's go ahead and get both our Natus and a Kadabra going. Xatu down. Xatu down. Kadabra down. We can go ahead and energy switch to the Kadabra. We can retreat into the Diancie, and we will go ahead and... Well, let's look at our prizes first. Okay, so we've got Artazon, Boss. Okay, we're not too bad on prizes. Our prizes aren't that bad. Research isn't bad. It does get rid of the Gardevoir, so I'm okay with that. Bravery Charm to the Ralts, that's fine. And then we can go ahead and... Okay. The Bravery Charm now deactivates because it needs to be on a basic Pokemon. He'll go ahead and refine, getting rid of the Jacques, smart. And then we'll see what we get. Hopefully we're able to, off of this Iono, kind of get what we want and not really worry about a whole lot. We could end up getting the... Okay, we'll go ahead and Clairvoyant Sense. It only makes sense to put it on the Kadabra. Okay, we got the Alakazam. We'll put it down on the Alakazam. And we'll go ahead and Iono. Okay. Rare Candy into Alakazam. We can then Clairvoyant Sense onto Alakazam, getting 2 more. Ciphermaniac, that's not bad at all. That actually helps us out quite a bit. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, that'll help us get cards. That'll help us get cards and get us more energy. We'll go ahead and attack. Let's see. We'll just go ahead and grab number 6. It's Heavy Ball. That's okay. We can use it with the Ultra Ball and get rid of something. As of right now, Diancie's is protecting us pretty well, given how things are going. Diancie's protecting us. So, and the most that it's going to be able to do is 20 to Diancie. He's not able to use his boss's orders. He's not able to do things that he might want to do with Diancie inactive. Hopefully we can actually potentially get boss's order or get the switch, or, you know, use the switch if we have to use the counter catcher, something of that nature. If we are able to... Okay, Iono, that doesn't hurt. 5 cards, a lot of that stuff we couldn't have used. Arven will get us... Okay. Bravery Charm, that does kind of stink, but we're okay with that. Lumineon down, that's fine. What we'll do is hopefully with the Pokégear get the boss's order, and then we can bring up that Ralts and slap something that slap it so that he can't really get the Guardies up and rolling. An Iono, that's okay. That's really kind of the best he's got right now. The Ralts, setting it down doesn't hurt. I would like to pull up one of them so it kind of makes it harder on him. And he'll probably retreat, potentially pass. Currently sitting with 4 energy, so we kind of need to keep those Ralts down as best we can. We can put the Kadabra there. Let's go ahead and look at our Arven. Okay. We can then go ahead... Really not a lot that we want right now, but we'll go ahead and Pal Pad. Pal Pad so we can get the Iono and an Arven back. I would rather wait. Let's see, what do we get here? Ciphermaniac, okay. We can go ahead and Dimensional Hand. He can potentially knock out the Diancie, which is fine. Rare Candy into Guardy. that gives his Drifloon more. The one thing about Diancie that's really kind of nice is that he's having a hard time getting rid of Diancie. We'll go and attach to Guardy, knock out this Diancie. We're okay with that. Curly it down. Okay. And Iono. 5 new cards. Cards that we weren't really going to use there. And we've got more Psychic Energy, which is kind of what we were looking for. Kind of hoping for. A Super Rod, probably getting back the 3 Pokemon, because that's literally all he can get. And he'll knock out this Diancie. The Pokégear. Pokégear gets us the Iono. And then we will go ahead and Clairvoyant Sense. Attach. Clairvoyant Sense again. Attach. Okay, getting the energy. We can go ahead and get a Buddy-Buddy, which will at the very least give us the Mimikyu. We can then attach to the Kadabra. We can then retreat into the Mimikyu. What do we got from here? That's fine. Everything's pretty okay. Do I want to do the energy switch right now? I don't think so. I don't have anything I need. We'll go ahead and Iono them. Okay, getting the Cipher. We can then also hit them with the Radiant Alakazam there, which gives us big HP. And then we can go ahead and we'll hit them with Dimensional Rend. Or Dimensional Hand, excuse me. Mimikyu is currently safe. The only way they're going to be able to kill it is with the Drifloon. Right now they have 0 energy in discard. They could put 2 energy down and jump away and then Drifloon, but we would knock out the Drifloon and still kind of be safe. We're just going to take it slow, but Guardy is a good matchup. I think Guardy is a good matchup. We should be able to continue to win. If need be, we don't need to really worry too much. Really with Alakazam, we're kind of just hitting them for a little bit, but always forcing them to have the item that they need, which doesn't always happen. Hit us with the Iono. That's okay. We don't really have a lot here that we're worried about. And then boom, 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 boom. If they do take out this Mimikyu, that's when we are going to be able to use the Radiant Alakazam to move things around. Kind of coming in clutch at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 still in the deck. Okay, retreats. We'll bump into the... Oh, we'll bump into the Mew. The Mew will be able to get rid of our Mimikyu. But it's causing and forcing them to have more. It's always it's a constant. What do they have to be able to take out the Alakazam? What do they need? Super Rod, we'll go ahead and get the Diancie and the Mimikyu back. And why not 1 more energy? We can go ahead and have the Diancie, We'll get the Diancie, or correction, we'll get the Mimikyu, and we will get ourselves, why not? Get ourselves another basic energy. We can go ahead and Clairvoyant Sense. Onto a Natu. We can go ahead and attach, retreat into the Mimikyu, and we'll go ahead and Dimensional Hand, take out this Mew. We should be fine. Okay, we got our boss and the switch. That will help us. He'll bring up the Drifloon, I would imagine, or the Cresselia. He's only going to be able to... He'll only be able to put 60 down because it moves 20 from each. So he'll only be able to put 60 down. We'll be able to knock out. The Bravery Charm does not help that, but that's okay. We're just going to take it slow. We're not going to worry too much. We're not going to fight it too much. Just kind of enjoy what we're doing. So he'll be able to knock out this Mimikyu. That'll be fine. He'll put 20, he'll put 20, and we'll put 20 on the Drifloon. What we'll do is we will just go ahead and... Okay, he's loading up more than he needs. With one energy left, he could put it on the Drifloon to get the 60, but I don't think he will. Let's see. Radiant Greninja down. Okay. No, because now with Xatu, we can... Oh. Okay. What we will do is go ahead and Boss's Order up the Drifloon, because it can take one-hit knockouts. I'm pretty okay with everything else, and we'll just go ahead and Dimensional Hand. Knock it out. Artazon doesn't hurt us, doesn't help us. It'll help us get, when we knock something out, it'll help us go get the Mimikyu, or correction, it'll go to the Klefki or the Diancie, and then we can retreat, move it up, so on and so forth. Currently sitting with one, he can't really do a ton. This Cresselia is dead next turn. Okay. Yep. Drop that down. That's fine. He'll only move 40 at this point. Taking the long route to get things in his hand. Okay, that doesn't hurt us, him having the research. It's kind of slowing him down. It's bringing him closer. Now the two of us are not so even on our decks, so we can just kind of potentially stall him out. Will we do that? Probably not. Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and bring our Xatu up. At this point, we'll go ahead and Pal Pad. I like getting our boss back, and I like getting a Ciphermaniac back. Let's see. We can do this. We will Painful Spoons. We will move 20 onto the Ralts. Slowly taking that little chip away. We can leave the Xatu up. What we can do now is we'll go get the energy switch so it doesn't go to waste. Energy switch from here to here. Dimensional hand. We'll knock out this Cresselia. And we will take our one more prize card. Doing... the Nest Ball doesn't hurt us, doesn't help us. Potentially is fodder. So we're not too terribly worried. We've got 2 energy, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 2 more still in the deck. We can then Clairvoyant Sense to this one, and then we'll always have an attacker ready to go. Sitting there trying to decide what he is going to bring up. We do have the Ralts kill in 2 turns, unless he does that. They should only be running 2 Guardy. So okay, so brings the 1 down. Okay, the Drifloon. We do have the boss somewhere in our deck, so hopefully we get either we draw it off the top, or what we can do is hopefully get a energy, use Clairvoyant Sense to slap it down, moving. Boss's Order. Okay. Brings up the Alakazam that could be hurt. We'll see. Memory skip. Okay, so this Pokemon cannot use Dimensional Hand. Not all of your Pokemon can't. The attack itself can't be used across the board. So we're still going to be able to take this knockout. It might be misunderstanding, or it might be he just doesn't have anything and he's giving it to us. You can tell because this Pokemon, and he concedes. Good game, good game. So it had the down arrow, meaning that Pokemon could not use a certain attack. And if you noticed, down on the bench, the other Pokemon were fine. And there you go. Alakazam EX. It's not a fast deck. It's something that you got to take your time, and you got to know what you're planning next and what they could potentially do next and kind of work around it. But I really enjoy this deck. It's fun to play at locals for fun. Helps teach kids kind of how to work around things or how to deal with abilities and stuff like that. Something I enjoy doing is teaching the kids how to play a little bit more competitively. If you would, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that help me continue doing this. And with that, have fun, stay safe. I love you. Bye.